Questions for Neal?
Questions.
You know,
We won, so nobody's got questions.
when
Wasn't
Ja-
that pretty?
What about
when
that
when
call?
yeah, when Jalen's a little off on his throws, you know, both Mark and you mentioned that he missed some throws there. Is that a technique thing, or what are 9 times out of 10 anyway? What's the cause of that?
I think he rushes. And his feet and his base get real narrow, and that's in my opinion, I think that's what causes it. You know, the one on the wheel route up the sideline the other day, he just got real anxious and rushed the throw because the guy was so open. He knew he was going to get a touchdown. And then on some of those other, on the like the one to Timmons where he got hurt, the one to the back out in the flats, he just gets his base real narrow.
Is that an experience thing?
No, I think it's just he's got to train his mind to really focus on it all the time. And I think it's I don't know if experience is the right word. I think it may be a lack of reps. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just he needs repetitions where he was hurt a little bit and where he had to split some time when we were trying on the doing the quarterback competition. I think that's part of it.
With Alex and Ryan down now, other than Jameis, who do you know you can count on at wide receiver?
Yeah, well, I think DeMarco Robinson is a guy that's finally healthy, and we need him to step up and make some plays. We need A.J. Legree to step up. Some of the guys that have been here, they've got to step up and produce.
You talked about those added reps, and you obviously threw the ball a lot more in that third quarter when Jalen was in. How did you grade his second half performance when he was going down the field a little bit more?
Yeah, I thought, I really felt a lot better about Jalen's performance after watching the film than I probably did when I talked to you all right after the game, because I don't try to be a pessimist, but I think but right after the game, I think what was sticking out to me were the 4 or 5 really bad throws he had, and not the 10, 12 plus really good throws he had. So I was really encouraged after watching the film because he threw the ball well, especially downfield, which is something he hadn't done a whole lot of. In the game, he threw the ball downfield well. In some of those underneath throws, we can get that fixed. Because I think, like I was telling John, I think it's a technique.
Are your receivers able to play multiple positions within that receiving group? Like, now that Timmons is out and you're looking at Collins and Shields there, can somebody else, like Badette, maybe move to that spot? Or are they set in stone?
No. I think we've cross-trained some guys. I try to not cross-train some of those freshmen. Like Badette, we'll leave him where he's at just because he's got a ton of reps. I don't think it's fair to him in a week's time to try to get him ready. Now some of those other guys like DeMarco, for example, and Ronnie and like Anthony Kendrick, those guys that have some experience and have some good football knowledge, I don't mind moving those guys around.
Do you see yourself running the ball more, even if that means run design plays with Jalen?
Yeah, I think we'll probably be about what we've been. I don't know. John, what we've been? 55, 60? What have we been?
Sounds about right.
No, I mean, I think we'll probably be about what we've been.
Do you use Anthony Moore in the wide position?
So you
The
get,
wide slot
yeah, we'll use Kendrick there some and Borden to pick up a little bit of the slack from where Alex was playing in there. Mm-hmm.
Collins and Legree and those guys, what did you not see from them, or what have you not seen from them that they're going to have to show you now?
Well, I think Legree's picking it up. I really do. I think made a great play in the game on Saturday night. He took the ball really on third down, really took it away from an Alabama State defender, and he's practicing a lot better. I think his confidence really grew on how he performed on special teams. He's really done some nice things for us on special teams and gained some confidence, and I think he's brought that to offense. And Collins, he just hadn't been productive with the snaps he's had earlier in the year. And he's got increased reps this week. And if he continues to produce, and, I thought he had a pretty good day yesterday. We'll see after watching the film of today's practice, then he'll get in there and have a chance to play on Saturday.
Did he surprise you at all that he wasn't doing more? He was a guy that seemed like early in his career he was going to have a pretty bright future and could maybe be a playmaker. Certainly was.
Yeah, I think he's got some skills. I think he's got to be focused every day. I think he's got to take advantage of opportunities. But I definitely think he's got some skills. I think he runs pretty well. I think he's a solid build kid. I think there's no reason why he can't help us.
What has impressed you the most about Missouri studying the video?
Yeah, well, I think Steck, their defensive coordinator, does a really good job, man. We played him twice at Texas Tech, had two really great games. They beat us once, and then in a game where Steck was actually the head coach, I think they beat us. We threw a pick with less than 10 seconds to go, I think inside the 5. So we had two really competitive games against those guys. I think when you talk about Missouri, everybody thinks about their offense just because they've been so good going back to Chase Daniels, and they still are, and I'm aware they're very good on offense, and that goes into my train of thought as I get our game playing together too. But they've been really good on defense too, and they've had as many good defensive linemen in the last 5 to 7 years as anybody in the country. They've been, talk about Alden Smith, they've had a bunch of guys. And the first thing that jumps off the film when you're watching Missouri is their defensive line. They're about, they go 2 or 3 deep at each position. They can really run. They have the fastest D line that we've played. They play super hard, and they chase the ball probably better than anybody we've played. And then their Mike linebacker, 48, his name's skipping me right now, but he gets a lot of tackles. Those inside guys do a good job of keeping them off, keeping the linemen off him, and he does a good job making tackles. And the secondary guys, a lot of them are the same that we played against. I think last time we went up there in 2011 when I was at Tech, and they've gotten a lot better. The Gaines kid is back, and he plays a lot of confidence, and he's a physical player out there at corner.
Do you feel more prepared to start a game week, did you this week, than many of the games so far this season, just because of that familiarity?
I think there was some familiarity there, but a lot of these guys we've played, sometimes it doesn't look like, but I've played against several of these guys before, but there is some familiarity there. But they're doing some different things because I think because of their depth up front, they're so much deeper up front than maybe the last time we played.